Hello everybody, it's Ken Faulkner bringing you another knife video, and this time it is another new knife. Yeah, I was just thinking about a few months back before Blade Show, where I wasn't buying stuff, and I was going through things in the collection. I haven't I haven't done that for a while, and the reason for that is I just I had this thing going on. I mean, I managed to hold off before Blade Show, but I have this wanting to buy knives thing. I know you guys, a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe all of you guys do. I don't know, because we're all different. We all have different collecting experiences, and I totally respect that. I think it's awesome. I go over this stuff in my head and think, well, am I doing the right thing? Is this what I really want to do? But I do love getting new knives. I really do. So here's another one, Maxace. Definitely a company I've been interested in, and I think the reason why I've been interested in them is because I've seen on other channels these big old monster knives that look so cool. Now this is a box. We're gonna do a size measurement of the box. Look at this. It's an 8-inch box. This is quite impressive. 8 inches by 3 3/8. That is a big box. But big boxes sometimes can be deceiving, and we'll check it out. This is a knife that I've been hearing about and wanted to check out for a while. And when I got it out of the box, and we're gonna get it out of the box, it's a slide out thing, and it's got the big big pouch for it. What do we got here? Just some paperwork. We got a card. I don't think it's not a, doesn't really, it just talks about Maxace. So it's just generic. It's not like one of those identification type cards. Just a plain little advertisement thing. I think this is probably just typical comments, precautions. Who reads these? My girlfriend will read like every instruction. I'm sure there's guys out there like that too. But man, my girlfriend, when she'll read instructions on things. I mean, nobody reads all the paperwork. It's kind of like when you download something on your computer or your phone, and then it's got this big long disclaimer or whatever it is, a legal statement, and you say, yes, I agree with this, as if you read that whole thing. My girlfriend does tend to do that, especially if it's anything like legal or something like that. She wants to read it. That's super smart, but I think most of us, I hope I'm not the only one that just clicks OK and hopes that they won't come after my firstborn child or what they might put in there. I don't know. These days it's crazy. Sometimes I feel like going out to a log cabin in the woods and getting away from it all. Take my knives with me, of course, and then I could use them on all kinds of stuff. That would be great. But then I wouldn't really have the money, the income to buy new knives, which seems to be a thing for me because I have more than enough knives for a lifetime of just enjoyment. But I still buy new knives, and this is one of them, Maxace. And it's because I watch these videos and there's a constant flow of things. And this isn't one real recent that just came out. It's been out for a long time. But yeah, I definitely have been wanting to get this one. Now you notice there is a discrepancy between the size of the pouch, and I'm sure they make these boxes and pouches to fit all their knives. And like I said, I know they have some big monster knives, but this one's not a monster knife. It's not super small, but it's more of what I would consider to be, I guess, an EDC size. I've been throwing the term around lately. I don't know if you guys can relate to that. Like a full size is going to be 3 1/4 up to 4.5 even inches. And then once you get at 3 1/4 below, that's when I start kind of seeing it as an EDC. Maxace, nice presentation. I like, one thing that I am trying to do lately, just to, I know my money is going to these knives, and I want to kind of justify in my head what am I getting out of it, and stuff that sticks out. That is a really nice. I think it's a what did I think it was on a Devo knives. Let me look and see what it was on the Tall Boy, and I think it's got the same one, although there's some milling in it. And he specifically said what it was called, like a pearl something. Hang on, guys. Bear with me. I'm going to look this up real quick. Got my spreadsheet, of course. Of course. Tall Boy. It is pearl camo carbon fiber. And I'm pretty sure that's what this is. And it is just a really cool look. On the Tall Boy, it's got a lot of milling through it. But this one's like just flat, but you can really see the way it looks. Very nice. Very, very nice. I really like it. None on the clip side, but on the show side, all the way across. It's just nice. Anyway, so little things like that I look for. If you've been watching the channel, I'm not a steel snob where I have to have a certain steel. There's many different variables, and I'm not locked in necessarily to one thing. Even large knives, which is kind of like earlier on, that was pretty much what I was going for. But it's not a lock-in. I just want something that's a little different. So this one's S90V. I mean, that is definitely a good steel. One of those steels that is desirable. People aren't gonna be talking crap about it so much. And it is a frame lock, which is nice. Nice relief there. The clip looks really good. Plenty of room under there. I have carried this, and I've had it for a while. Just getting around to doing the video. Geared backspacer. I like that. The titanium, plain titanium look I like, but then once you get like a little something that's not super crazy, maybe, that changes it up. I like it. I think I like that better than. I don't want something that's just gets too crazy. That's really gaudy in my mind. And I know that people like, some of that stuff. And I'm not saying this is my personal opinion. I kind of like the more muted kind of thing. This might be like too much for some people. Some people would say, "Man, that I just want plain titanium," and there's nothing wrong with that. We all have different things, but these are the kind of things that kind of push my buying button when I'm going down with my finger on the phone or wherever I'm ordering it from, and I'm clicking that mouse or whatever. It's stuff like that. Now, in a picture, you don't really see what the size it is, and maybe I should be more careful, but actually I've been a little bit more forgiving to the smaller size knives, and this one actually does feel good in my hand. It's not oversized, and maybe that's a good thing. Blade shape is really, really nice. This is like kind of sheep's footy with a belly, bringing the tip down, but it still has tip forward, which I like. I mean, this is I used to be so much a drop point guy, and I still am. I really like a drop point, but this kind of look, and it gives me that. I've been cooking more lately and cutting vegetables and stuff like that. So maybe that's part of it. It kind of has more of that cutting vegetables kind of feel to it. If you know what I'm talking about. I think I go through phases. I don't think I get locked in, and then I just it does say Black Mirror on it, and it's almost like they did that for me, because if you've been watching, I terrible with names. This is probably one that I would remember more likely, but you never know. You never know what's gonna like get lost in my head. It's kind of subtle. It's not, again, it's kind of like this blue color here. It's not like overpowering, Sometimes when it's like that bright red on regular titanium, it just seems like a bit much. Sometimes it looks really good, like with a fully blacked out knife, and then some real bright pop of color. But I really like this kind of feel when the backspacer matches and all that stuff. Pivot collar matches, all that. So yeah, S90V. It does show the The I'm gonna blank on that. The detent hole right there. I think that's a no-no for some people. It doesn't really freak me out or anything. I'm not too worried about it. It does have a bolted in, what do you call it? Man, brain not working. The insert for the lock bar insert. There's the word. There, at least the words are coming. It just is going a little slow. Nice. I kind of like it when they have like a pin on this side. That's going to be, I'm assuming that's captured, and then the screw on this side. It's kind of cleaner. I mean, so this whole side, captured and captured, it kind of makes it more aesthetically pleasing. It's just a great looking knife. Black Mirror from Maxace. Really nice. I do want to eventually get one of their bigger knives, but so you got this deep, just very generous cutout for the lock bar. Very generous. And it kind of serves almost as a finger groove. It gives you a little place to kind of lock in. Whichever finger's in there, if it's the middle finger, you can kind of get up on this flat, which is nice. This is not really a finger choil, but it is a significant sharpening choil. Gives you plenty of room. Nice flat on that. I like that full flat for slicing and cutting. Like I said, the relieving for the lock bar, which is necessary to make it so it can move. It's on the outside, and some people don't like that tearing into their pants. I just never have really had a problem with that. So I don't know why. Maybe I don't take my knife in and out of my pocket enough. I don't know. But I just haven't had a problem with it. But some people like it on the inside. It does look cleaner when it's on the inside. And it won't tear into your pocket. Some people say it's weaker if it's on the inside. I don't know. I haven't done a structural analysis of that at this point. So, but I think it's okay for me. Some people might have a problem with that. It doesn't feel. It's a little sharpish, but maybe it's just at the corner. Ergos feel really good to me. Feel really, really good. Up here, just slight changes in your position. My pinky is almost off, but it still feels good. I've kind of come to the point where the pinky kind of towards the end of the handle, sometimes it will just be just too much where it just really has no grip. But here, it's a little bit of grip there, but it does feel like I got a good hold on the knife. And then if you go up here, you feel like you have a good grip for cutting. Sometimes when you choke up, it feels like your finger's too close to the blade. And then with this flat here, because it is not there is no flipper, you get that nice flat, and it even has a little jimping there. You got a place for your finger to land, and it's just, I think when they designed it, they probably thought that through. No jimping on top. It doesn't do much for me. I mean, as far as, it's not a no-go for me, not having jimping on top, especially when the handle feels so comfortable that I feel like I have a good grip. I don't feel like I'm going to slip on this at all. So, having jimping here, I don't know. I never go through a cut and say, man, if only I had some jimping, then I would be able to do this much better. Again, it's a personal thing, and I would never, my brain just doesn't work that way. I don't think, oh, well, this is the way I like it, so that is the best. I know from experience of 60 plus years on this planet that I have, known and dealt with, been in relationship with so many people that are different and their brains work differently. And I totally understand that. So just because there's two human brains and two different people doesn't mean that brain functions the same way your brain works. And I know people like that. They think, well, this is clear to me, and I believe that everybody should have opinions, and everybody's opinion is their own, and it has value. But the reality is that you can't say, my opinion is the only right thing, because everybody looks at things and thinks of things differently. Look at artwork. Look at cars or anything in society. Everybody likes somebody. Somebody likes trucks. Somebody likes sports cars. Somebody likes a small little economical car. Somebody likes, it's just like all different things. Some people like to ride motorcycles. Everybody's brain works differently. I mean, I'm convinced of that. It would be very hard to convince me otherwise, just from experience. And because of that, I know what I like, and I have no problem having an opinion, but I'm never going to say my opinion is the only opinion that matters. And so when I'm talking about knives, I point out things that I think about. And obviously, there's going to be a lot of people that feel the same way. But like, I don't care about the jimping. Now, if you care about the jimping, I want you to know there's no jimping here. The milling here on the lock bar, just notice that, is nice. Gives you a little bit of grip there, less sliding off. I have had experiences where my finger, I'm trying to unlock a knife and it's sliding off. And I do appreciate having something there. So I think it's a really good thing. I think this, even though it's just black and doesn't have a lot of color to it, it just has that pattern that shows up in the light. And I just really like that. I think it's really good. So I'm happy with this knife. Would I be happy with it if it was maybe a little bit bigger, maybe 1.25 size, like in CAD, I do CAD work, 3D CAD work, and you can scale things, and you can, parametrically just change values on dimensions. I know that I'm getting into the terminology of that side, but anyway, yeah, if I could take this and just kind of, how you click and drag on an image and you can make it bigger. And my boss is big on this. We'll work on something and it'll say, I just want it to be a little bit bigger. Can you just click and drag it? But it's not that simple when it comes to CAD stuff. But you know what I'm saying, that you can just enlarge an image and all of a sudden it's larger. So if I could just enlarge just a tiny little bit, I love the whole everything in ratio to itself, but just a little bit bigger. I think I would like it a little bit more. But it's still a great knife. It still feels good. I don't have problem. Like sometimes when it's too small and you go to open it, it's hard to hold on to because it's too small. This one is really nice. It's got a real comfortable deployment. Thumb, I don't really do it that much. I try it just because I'm not really good at it. It does kind of have a chamfer here, so there's not a sharp edge to grab onto. But with the middle finger flick, I get my fingernail underneath there, and then I flick it out and just get that right direction, kind of up, maybe at a 45. And this thing goes out really well. And it doesn't necessarily grab onto the fingernail, but it's still, the hole's just the right size and everything. Just works very well for me. So I'm very happy with this. Before this one, the only other Maxace I had was this guy here. It's funny. Oh, no, that's the same. They both say Maxace on the clip, different clips. This is the Meerkat, and it's all titanium. Now, this one was modded by Stella from Stella's Knife Obsession. I haven't seen her around lately. Hopefully she's still doing okay. It might just because I haven't been looking for her videos, but she does really good mod work, and this one's very cool. This would been a plain titanium like this beforehand, but this is all anodized and had like this interesting machining done to it to change the way the anodized does. So that is like kind of a lot like this, where it catches the light. Very, very cool. But I've had this one for a while, and I really enjoyed it, so I don't know why I didn't buy a Maxace before now. But this one also is kind of on the smaller side, and this one is where my pinky will kind of fall off. And I would kind of call this one a 3-finger, as opposed to this one, where it feels like the pinky has some grip. Even if I take all my other 4 fingers off in position, I feel like I still, can hold on to it. So I don't know if that's true here. We can experiment with that. So here I can, because I'm choked up on that flat part. Back here, if I take my fingers off, I don't really have a grip on it. So it's just just like that little, and of course hand sizes are different too, just like people's brains. Hand sizes are different too. So, I mean, that's going to affect it. And if you're fine with just having a 3-finger grip on a knife too, nothing wrong with that. So a couple of cool, both S90V, both Maxace, and both say the name of the knife on there. Maybe that's why I like them so much. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think I was going to do a quick... I was going to break out the size comparison pouch. Maybe I'll just do a couple. Maybe not do them all. What do I got here? I got the PM2 from Spyderco. Always one that gets used a lot, so therefore it should help you understand. So I see this as a full size. We'll get this guy out of the way and compare it to the Black Mirror. I see this one as a full size, and you can see it's slightly smaller, and I think that puts it in that EDC category with the basically a 3¼ inch blade to that point right there, 3¼ It's right on that borderline. Whereas the Meerkat, I think, is probably going to be closer to, under 3 inch. So that's definitely EDC size for me. What else can I use? I got, as long as we're doing Spyderco, I guess I can break out the, I'll find it. There we go. So, you know, Bees likes to have his Spyderco sandwiches. So, this is the Sage 5, am I? Yeah, with the Rex 121. I've mixed that up before with something else. But yeah, this is Sage 5. So this is smaller. And again, we're looking at EDC size versus full size to me. Now, that's not like an industry-wide category. It's just something that I came up with in my head. But, all right, guys. Yeah, enough talking. I think I've... you know how they say that beat the dead horse? I wouldn't do that. I love horses. But, yeah, I kind of beat this whole subject to death. So, enough talking, right? And thanks for watching. The Black Mirror from Maxace. We'll be definitely getting another Maxace sooner or later in the collection. All right, you guys. I will see you on the next one.